kiddos, I hope everybody's well and safe. It's Miss Theresa, and I'm going to talk to you about this week's Bible lesson. It's in Luke chapter 18. It's verses 31 all the way to the end of that chapter. And you're going to keep reading, and you're going to start reading in chapter 19, and you're going to read verses 1 through 10. So it's Luke 18:31 through Luke 19:10. And it's a little long, so I'm hoping you can find a Bible and some time to read it to yourself or read it aloud. Or if you can't read, to find somebody who can read it to you. And it's 3 little stories, and I think they have a common theme, and I'm going to tell you what I think the theme is, and then maybe you can think about that as you read it. And the theme is humility. Humility is about thinking of yourself less. That was actually in one of the texts that came out this week. So in the first story, Jesus is telling his disciples what's going to happen to him just before Easter. And he is telling them that his whole people are going to reject him. And we know that because we do have Easter. So that's quite humiliating to think about, that you've been out preaching and now you're going to be rejected. So it was just kind of sad, but his disciples didn't really understand it, you'll see. And the second story is about the blind man who is begging on the side of the road, and a crowd with Jesus is walking by, and he's like, what's going on? And they're saying, it's Jesus, and he calls out to Jesus. And the crowd tries to shush him, but he won't be shushed, and he continues to call out. So, he didn't care. He didn't care what they said. He wasn't going to let them humiliate him and shush. He continued to call out to Jesus, and Jesus healed him. And then the third story, I think everybody knows, it's Zacchaeus. And what is Zacchaeus? He's a tax collector, and his people don't like him very much because he kind of steals from them. So he's not a very tall man, though, and so he has to climb a tree to see Jesus as Jesus is walking by. But Jesus doesn't walk by him, does he? He calls him. He says, I'm coming to your house today. So, again, Zacchaeus wouldn't be humiliated. And Jesus wasn't going to be humiliated because the crowd was like, why are you going to go to his house for dinner? You should come to ours. He steals from us. But he goes to Zacchaeus, and Zacchaeus changes his ways, doesn't he? And he becomes a better man. And so I think if you can look at all those stories and see about the humility within them, I think maybe our lesson is that we do have to think less of ourselves and think more of others. So in conclusion, you want to say a prayer with me, or can you bow your heads and fold your hands, and I'm going to say a prayer, okay? Okay. Welcoming Lord, come and stay with us. Fill our hearts with your love. Help us to be welcoming to everyone we meet. Help us to show kindness and mercy to everyone we meet. In your Son's name, amen. Bye, kiddos. Have a great week. Be safe.
Good news. 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 Of great joy. Of great joy. Of great joy. Great joy. All people. All people. All people. For all people. For all people. Let's get to work. Let's get to work. Let's get to work. Let's get to work.